Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and the summer's not over. It's almost over, but we're not quite there yet. We have roughly around 3 weeks left, and I think that that's 3 more weeks for me to make a push. This summer wasn't a complete washout. I was able to uh, pick up some really top tier games. And I was also able to pick up a lot of quality games. Maybe they weren't the rarest or the most expensive, but there were a ton of quality games out there, and I found them in a mix of places. But GameStop continues to be one of my go-to spots for retro games, especially because of how much of an effort they're putting into beefing up their retro lineup and their retro offerings. Now, there has been a change to GameStop, and someone commented it in one of my videos. And I was also at a GameStop the other day, and one of the employees told me this. Actually, a few employees have told me this. But GameStop is now creating what they designate as retro stores. So any trade-ins that they get of retro games, retro consoles, they're automatic. Like all stores have been told to ship all retro trades to these designated retro stores. So if you're interested in collecting retro games, buying retro games, it'd be in your best interest to figure out which stores near you have been, I guess, designated as the retro stores for your area, and start to build relationships at those GameStops, because that's how you'll be able to track down and consistently find good deals on retro games. Now, what I wanted to share were 15 Xbox 360 games that I was actually shocked to still find at GameStop. And these are games that I've picked up within the last 2, maybe 3 weeks. So it's not that long ago, and I do think that you can still find these games at GameStop. They're in no particular order, but I am gonna kind of just show you some of the potential that's out there if you are someone that's still looking for retro games. So we'll go ahead and start it with the first one, and this is Naruto Rise of a Ninja. Now, there are plenty of Naruto games out there on the Xbox 360 that you'll easily run into at GameStop, but it's normally like the Shippuden games, like 1, 2, and 3. I don't often run into Rise of a Ninja. This one has more of an action adventure style to it. There are like versus modes that you play through, but this one definitely feels more and plays more like an action adventure game, almost like an action RPG. So I picked this one up because I'm definitely into adventure games. And so this is one that I wanted to have. And I was actually shocked to see this because I don't know if I had ever seen this at a GameStop, or I haven't seen this game maybe in the last 2 to 3 years. So this is one that I was shocked to see, and it's still available. The next one is Lost Odyssey. Now, I think I've seen this available on other platforms. I'm not sure if this got a PS4 release or not, or Xbox One release, but the Xbox 360 release comes with like about 4 discs, 3 or 4 discs. This is a really beefy game, and I want to say that this kind of follows the whole like somewhat of a Dynasty Warriors model. Probably not exactly. I don't know a ton about this game, but I do know that it's a hack and slasher. I am a fan of hack and slash games, and when I saw the cover, it gave me Dynasty Warrior vibes. So I went ahead and picked this one up. This is not like rare or anything, but this was one that I was shocked to find complete in box. And that's the other thing. These games, you can find them complete in box at GameStop. So this is definitely another one that I was shocked to see. Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. So this is a game that I picked up 2 years ago at the Retro Expo in Long Island. And when I was doing a big sell-off, I actually sold this game, and I was really kind of upset that I sold it, because this is a cool like action adventure game, like a bit of like an action 3D platformer style game. And I don't really run into a lot of these on the Xbox 360, so this was one that I was upset that I got rid of. And when I found it again at GameStop, I think this was like 12 bucks or 11 bucks. This was one that I wanted to add back into the collection. At the time, they had a promotion, and I think I was able to get an extra 10% off or something like that. So this was a really good deal. This was one that I was shocked to find, added this back to the collection. This is one that I was really shocked to find. I haven't seen like loose copies of Afro Samurai, not loose copies, but I haven't seen a complete in box copy of Afro Samurai for a really long time. I had this one on the PS3, so when I saw it on the 360, I already knew what it was about. This is a really dope, like, cell-shaded art style hack and slasher. Really, really feeling this game. It has the whole comic book vibes, and I'm definitely digging this one. So this was one that I was really shocked to see complete in box. Went ahead and grabbed it from GameStop. And then we have some of these Marvel games. So it's really touch and go with the Marvel games. You never know which ones are going to be rare and expensive and which ones aren't. But Captain America definitely fell on the rare side, because I've only run into this game once, and the one time that I ran into it, I picked it up at GameStop. This one actually has some value to it. I think this is like a $40 game or so right now, 40, maybe 45. Saw this at GameStop, went ahead and picked it up. This is a cool one. This is a cool, like, it's action adventure, like third person, like, kind of game. I think they're, what's it called, stop motion, or I can't remember what it's called when, like, you have to press a specific button, like it almost slows the game down, and it's like press A and then it does like a special move. So it's one of those types of games, but pretty cool nonetheless. I did like it, the amount that I played of it, and this is one that I was shocked to still find at GameStop. This is a cool one. Resonance of Fate. This is an interesting one. I think this is an RPG on the 360. This is one that they had when I went in one day and got like a whole bunch of 360 games they just had lying on the shelf. But Resonance of Fate is an interesting one. They had this for like $6. This is like a $30 game. I didn't get it, but could have been a pricing error, or maybe just people aren't as into this game as I think. But this is a cool one. Was shocked to see this one. This is another one that I've never really seen at GameStop, or I haven't seen anyway in the last 3 to 4 years. So this was one I snagged. Chronicles of Riddick. It's funny, I hadn't really seen this one at a GameStop, and then when I did see it, I started to see like a bunch of copies of this game. So I ran into like 2 or 3 copies of Chronicles of Riddick. This is like, it takes on like a first-person shooter format, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's more to it, right? It's not specifically a first-person shooter. It is like a first-person adventure game. And while I'm not a huge fan of those games, some of them I will play. Like I've played Hexen. I remember I had Hexen on the PC when I was a kid, which is technically a first-person shooter. So I'll get into some of these. This is one that I was interesting to run into, so I went ahead and snagged that one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan is not like rare or exclusive or anything, but this game is becoming harder and harder to find on a 360. So when I found this one, I did go ahead and pick it up for the 360. I do have it on the PS4. I had this one on the Xbox One as well, but I sold my Xbox One copy. This game has been released on a number of platforms, but it's still a cool one to run into, and not one that you typically see at GameStop these days. So this is one I picked up. Azura's Wrath. Azura's Wrath is just a very fun game. Very fun, great graphics, great gameplay, great sound, great story. Really, really good game. One of the better games on the Xbox 360, if you ask me. I say this game is top tier. Produced by Capcom. Really good game. Was totally shocked to run into this at GameStop. This was like $25 at GameStop at that. Really, really good game. This also released on the PS3, so there's more than one way to play this game, but this is a good one. I would actually look for Azura's Wrath. This is a game that I would recommend you find. It's a really, if you like beat 'em ups, like 3D adventure beat 'em ups with great graphics and great gameplay, check this one out. Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Budokai. I was really shocked to run into this one at GameStop as well. I don't see this often. This is one of those ones that you just don't typically see anymore. So I snagged this one as well. This one also has some value to it. The price is going up. I know price is going up on a bunch of 360 games, but this is one that definitely has gone up some. Deadpool, talking about games that are going up some. This is a recent find. I actually found this like a few days ago, literally, at a GameStop, and this game is skyrocketing across all platforms. It doesn't matter if you have it on Xbox One, PS4, 360, PS3. I think PS3 is the one console that it's not like skyrocketing for, but I know on the 360 price charting still has this at like $35 or $37, but if you look at most listings on eBay, it's going to be over 50, probably closer to 60. So this one's gone up. Deadpool is an interesting one. Playing it on the 360 definitely made me dizzy, dizzier than when I played on the PS4. Someone commented in my comments that it's because of the frame rate on the 360. That might be the case. I just had to stop playing it after a while. I was just getting dizzy. Motion sickness was crazy on this one, but still a fun game. It's hack and slash, and it has like first person shooter elements to it too, so very interesting one. And it's funny, you know, the Deadpool story is just a funny one, so definitely one to be on the lookout for. These are still available at GameStop for like 20 bucks, so if you find it, snag it. Velvet Assassin. I had never heard of this game ever until I saw it at my local GameStop, and they had it there for like $6. When I got home and started inputting all the games into GameEye, that was when I quickly realized that this was like a $40 game. And I was like, why? How fun is it? And I put it in, and it's pretty cool. It's like a third person, like stealth assassin style game. Pretty interesting one. Haven't played enough of it to really make a decision, but this was in like immaculate condition. It was like new condition, and it was like $6, or I can't even remember how much it was. It wasn't more than $10 for this game. Really good game graphically, but I don't know what the gameplay is like. But if you do happen to run into this one at GameStop, snag it, because 9 times out of 10 they will have this severely underpriced. So 99 Nights Part 2. So I actually had 99 Nights Part 1 and 2 like years ago, when they were worthless, when they were like $4 and $5 games. I sold them then, and then I ran into this copy again at GameStop, and I think they had this one again for like 10 bucks. This is like a $45 or a $65, $55 game now on the 360. This is like a hack and slasher. It gives you Dynasty Warrior vibes. You're hacking and slashing through hordes of enemies. It's produced by Konami, so you know the graphics and the gameplay are going to be good enough. They're going to be tight. But there's a lot of probably other hack and slash games that you'll probably want to check out before this one, but this is still a good game. And you can still run into this at GameStop. If you do happen to find this one, definitely check it out. Spider-Man Friend or Foe. This was one that I was looking for a while. This game is now $65 on the 360, thanks to the store shutting down and what I call 360 inflation. So this one is one that is shot up. I've always been a big fan of the Spider-Man games. This one takes more of like a cartoony, childish kind of graphic scheme on it, but it's still Spider-Man. It's still web slinging through the city. If you're a fan of the Spider-Man series, you'll definitely dig this one. It's Activision. I feel like all these Activision games are going up and getting delisted. I don't know what's going on with Activision. Someone who follows that, you can let me know down in the comments, but this is one that you still can find at GameStop, so definitely be on the lookout for it. GameStop will probably have this underpriced, somewhere around 15 or 20 bucks, so that's one to look out for. Need for Speed Most Wanted. So my GameStop actually had this for like 36 bucks. This game has gone up some. I actually played this a bunch when I first got it. This is a pretty cool game. I'm going to be looking for a 360 case to do a case swap on it so I can get rid of this sticker. But this is definitely one of the more expensive games on the 360. You might find this at some GameStops. Not all GameStops will have this. Well, not all GameStops will have a lot of these games, but this is one that you could still run into at a GameStop. It's probably a lot harder to run into this one more than the others. But I ran into a GameStop that did have it, so I snagged it. Pretty cool street racing game. I was a fan of street racing on the PC. I played a lot of Need for Speed on PC when I was a kid. So getting this one on the 360 was cool, but this is one that you can still find as well. Is this the last one? Yep, last but not least, this one I was looking for a long time, and this is X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that there is a PS2 version of this game. Somebody let me know down in the comments if I'm right or wrong. But this game is best played either on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, just from a graphics and gameplay perspective. Very cool game, very fun game. Fun factor is right up there with like the Spider-Man games for this game. I like the level up system, the power up system, the fact that you can learn new abilities. The graphics are good, the scenery is nice. It is a little linear in as you traverse. It's not as open world as you would think. It is somewhat linear, but still fun. Really good game. Definitely one worth picking up if you run into it at GameStop. And GameStop will have this underpriced because this is probably like a $65 to $70 game now, and they usually have this game somewhere between 26 and 30 bucks. So another cool pickup. So yeah, just a stack of Xbox 360 games that you can still find. So if you're out there, check it out. GameStop normally does new promos starting Sunday. I don't know what the promo is today. I haven't had a chance to go out and check anything out. But definitely keep your eyes peeled because they've got some heat out there for you. And if you are collecting for 360, now is a great time. That does it for me. I'm the Y2K Collector. I'll be back this afternoon to tell you guys this wild, wild story of how I picked up all of these underpriced GameCube games yesterday. Stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.